All right, today is World Pangolin Day. Pangolins are said to be the most trafficked wild animals in the world. It's mostly for their scales, which are believed to have health benefits. Let's find out just how severe this is. I'm joined by Toby Jamin from Pangolin Africa. Toby, hello to you. When you hear the story that they're being hunted for their scales for medicinal use, it's almost laughable if it wasn't so serious.
Well, I think it's comparable really to the situation the rhinos are finding themselves in as well. You know, rhino horn and pangolin scales are fundamentally keratin. They are the same properties as your own fingernails, so you may as well bite your fingernails. However, millennia of traditional Oriental believe that there are medicinal properties to these the horns and the scales.
What's the importance of a pangolin to the environment? For those who don't know the animal, it's very difficult to find. So what's the importance in an ecosystem, in a biome?
Well, you'll find that there are 4 African species and 4 Asian species. Pangolins feed predominantly off termites and ants. Some are nocturnal, some are diurnal, they exist during the day. Some live in trees, some live in the ground. They consume vast amounts of termites and ants during their lifetimes, and if they're removed from an ecosystem, then those termites and ants, run rife. They then denude the immediate environment of a lot of vegetation, which has a ginormous knock-on effect to all the other species who are in the area. So they're what is known as a keystone species, vitally important to the environment.
And as far as the fight to try and protect them, obviously the rhinos get a lot of attention. Lion are very much coming to the fore now because of the bones that people are after as well, and that's getting a lot of attention. What about the pangolin? What about that fight? Is the world taking notice?
Well, yes, they are very much so now. There was a statement made, funnily enough, last week by the Xinhua news agency in China, which had, and I must say it's an unproven link to the consumption of pangolin parts from the wet markets in China with the coronavirus in human beings. So I must stress that this hasn't been verified, but this has very much put it into the public consciousness. The problem is pangolins are, as you say, incredibly elusive. You never really see them. So our job at Pangolin Africa is to try and tell as many people about pangolins, because if you don't know what one is, you don't care about saving it.
And that's the problem, isn't it? And this is why it's important we have these conversations. So with the idea of saving it, just how
Absolutely.
bad are the numbers?
Oh, again, we've got it's easier to spot a rhino. We know roughly, well, pretty accurately, how many rhinos there are. But because you don't see pangolins very often, it's very difficult to tell until they turn up in vast shipments. I'm talking tons. So tons of pangolins, when you only have about 1 kilo of scales on each pangolin, turning up in the Far East, having been shipped and trafficked in their scale form only, not even the meat. It constitutes hundreds and hundreds of thousands. They estimate that 1 pangolin is taken from the wild every 5 minutes. So this potentially has the potential of going extinct within our lifetimes, and we need to do something about it.
And global response from those who are in power, whether it be government or WWF, where are we on that? What are they doing?
Well, I think there's more of a public interest, there's more of a groundswell coming. There are some amazing organisations who are getting involved. For example, Leonardo DiCaprio, his foundation, have just launched the Pangolin Crisis Fund, which is going to be launched, was currently being launched as well, so he's putting his weight behind it. WWF are here in Africa. We've teamed up with several organisations such as the Tiki Highwood Foundation, African Pangolin Working Group, all the different NGOs and NPOs are all working together to spread the word, but also save the pangolins which are being found.
And just a final question to you, Toby, before I say goodbye. What can someone watching at home do about this? Can they get involved? Do they donate? How can they try and assist?
Well, if you want to visit our website, it's very simple. It's www.pangolin.africa. On there we have resources, we have downloads so you can use them in schools, for example. We made a film called Eye of the Pangolin, which has been made available on YouTube for free for everybody to watch. So I would encourage you to go and watch it. It's 45 minutes long. It's an amazing, beautiful film about 2 guys travelling around Africa, desperately trying to find all 4 African pangolin species for the first time. So please learn about pangolins, and when you have, tell as many people as you can, and maybe that will be the start of their salvation.
Well, Toby, hopefully this time next year when we talk about this again, the numbers of the poached pangolins are going to come down. I appreciate your time. www.pangolin.africa is the website. Also go look for that Eye of the Pangolin. Toby Jameen from Pangolin Africa joining us here on ENCA.